Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Haraka Kadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that surely do well. Salutation to all the Akim that pushing this work out there in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Lamar once again from GMS Trinidad. We would like to do another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? And title of this video is, why can't we all just live together? Meaning like with the other nations, alright, and the other Hebrew Israelite camps, okay, because a lot of people like these religions, all of these religions coming together, Muslims, Pentecost, Hinduism, and they serve different gods, right? But they want to come together in unity, so everybody with this one love thing, all right? And the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he's not like other gods, all right? Scripture said that we shouldn't bow down to other gods to serve them, all right? So yeah, why it is that we all can live together, why it is all the nations of the earth can live together in peace and in harmony, why it is that all the Hebrew Israelite camps or all religions or everybody that basically spiritual, why it is that they just can't live together. Well, first and foremost, this is the will of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Alright, I like to go into a precept here in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Where is that? 18 verse 1? Is it? Yeah, Ecclesiasticus 18 verse 1 to verse 3. Right? It says, "He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things obey his will. For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among the profane." Alright, so the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he sits in the heaven and he control all things, whether it is in heaven or whether it be on earth. Alright, it says, "For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane." So he make things holy and things unholy, and whatever he class or whatever it seems good in his sight is that what he do. Alright, Psalms 135, and I believe it's around verse 6. Alright, so the Most High separate a lot of things. Alright, yeah, so like about that. Right, so the Most High separated things. Alright, sheep, wolf. Alright, just look for so like just bear with me 1 second. Right, Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 verse right, Salakia Torah, Ecclesiasticus 13 verse 14. It says, "Love the Lord all thy life, and call upon him for thy salvation. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorted according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. What fellowship had the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? All right. So the Most High has set certain things one against another. All right. So all of this is the works of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right. Ecclesiasticus 33 and verse 14. It says, I'll start at verse 13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it as his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, right? And who made all things, all right? The Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? To render to them as liketh him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. All right. And who's supposed to be the godly? The godly supposed to be the house of Israel. All right. Because they are the ones, first of all, they are the children of the living power. All right. They are the sons of righteousness. All right. The same way how Eve, the Most High, separated us from Esau from in the womb, right? And they are the ungodly. All right. Verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and they are two and two, one against another. And a lot of people say that it's confusion, but if you look at nature itself, right, as the previous precept that I read, what fellowship had the wolf with the lamb? All right. I always like to bring out the example of hyenas and lions, right? They don't coexist. They don't agree. They're always fighting against one another. All right. So it's the same way how the Most High classified men as beasts and separated them. All right. So this is why the nations of the earth, they cannot live together. It have an order. We are the lions. We are the king of the jungles. All the other animals or all these other nations, right, have to be in subjection underneath us. But other than that, like what Esau, Edom do, like in the book of Habakkuk, all right, he heap all these nations together, which going to cause confusion. Because why? We cannot coexist. We here in Trinidad, we don't like Elam, all right. And when we see a Moab, a Edomite, all right, you know, we sickening of him. Moab don't like Jake neither. All right, because if it is that you going to purchase something from a Chinese restaurant, all right, you know what is one thing Moab does do? Moab do take your money from you and you have to rest that down. All right, I believe it's verse 5. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. It says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlarged his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations, and heaped unto him all people. Right? So like that is in America. He have all these nations together, and what does go on? It have a lot of tensions. But if you watch like the East, where China is concerned, you don't really see racial tensions, because these people dwell in their own land. All right. But the Most High, Yahweh, right, the God of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, never set it for all these nations to be coexistent. All right. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7, it says, remember the days of old. You understand? So yeah, remember the ancient days when all these nations was dwelling in their own land, right? The Philistines and the Israelites, they could have never coexist. They could have never pull, right? The Babakosha, Moab, right? And Ammon, Esau and Israel, right? These nations could not never pull. All right. The Most High separated the nations. All right. Also back in the time of Babel Tower, I'll go to that precept. Right. Remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Alright, so yeah, the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, separated these nations. If he wanted everybody to live together or coexist, he would not done this. Alright, Acts chapter 10, Salakia, Acts chapter 11. I'll read until I reach the point. Alright, it says, Genesis 11 verse 1. Did I say Acts before? Salakia, Genesis 11 verse 1. It says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Alright, well, Shinar is that land going over there in what they call Babylon, right about now, Mesopotamia. Alright, it says, and they said one to another, go, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. So these were all the sons of men, the nations of the earth, right? That came together. Alright, it says, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushai came down to the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai said, behold, the people is one. Right? So yeah, they live together in unity, in harmony, right? In love, peace, and what? Sincerity. Alright? They coexisted. And they have all one language, right? Because they could understand each other speaking the Hebrew dialect. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Alright, so the Most High mix up their language where they will no longer speak the same thing, understanding each other, right? So some people remain with the Hebrew tongue, some people spoke in Hindi, which is the Elamite language, right? Arabic, Aramaic, or what may have you, right? You don't know English or Hindi as yet. It says verse 8, so that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh Hashem Yahushai scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. Right? So the Most High didn't want all these nations to be together coexisting. Alright? This is Leviticus 20 verse 26. It says, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. So the Most High have severed us from all the other nations to be holy. Holy means to be clean, to be sanctified, because these other nations are corrupt, right? They have corrupt laws, corrupt judgments, and so forth. Alright? So the Most High have us to be a peculiar people unto himself, while these other nations, they have their own custom. Alright? It says, this is the additions to Esther in the Apocrypha. Alright? I'll read from verse 1. It says, the copy of the letters was this: the great King Artaxerxes writeth these things to the princes and governors that are under him, from India unto Ethiopia, in 127 provinces. Right? After that I became Lord over many nations, and had dominion over the whole world, not lifted up with presumption of my authority, but carry myself always with equity and mildness. I propose to settle my subjects continually in a quiet life and making my kingdom peaceable and open for passage to the utmost coast to renew peace, which is desired of all men. Now, when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Ammon, which is Haman, right, an Edomite, that excelled in wisdom among us and was approved for his constant goodwill and steadfast fidelity and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom, declared unto us that in all nations through all the world there was scattered a certain malicious people, right? Because Israel was already scattered, right, from the time of the Assyrians, right, and into the time of King Babylon, right. Artaxerxes was a king in the time of the Medo-Persian Empire, right, after they had taken down Babylon in the time of Belteshazzar and his father, all right. So Israel, the scripture in the book of Jeremiah, 50 verse 17, or is it 51 verse 17, says Israel is a scattered sheep. Alright, the lions have driven him away. First the king of Assyria, and then this Nebuchadnezzar has broken his bones. Alright, so Israel was scattered. Alright, it says verse 4, declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations. Why? Because the laws that we have are divine laws. They are heavenly laws that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has given us. They are spiritual laws and the carnal laws. Alright, the laws of the Most High is not based upon the sight of men, or the things that men do, the traditions of men, but after nature itself, right? The scripture said in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 and going around verse 5 that basically this will be our wisdom throughout the whole world, right? Well, so we are supposed to be different from all these other nations, right? So this is why we and these other nations can really cope, right? And continually despise the commandments of kings, right? Because why? These kings are the nations, they used to worship idols. The Philistines, right? They used to worship Dagon. Certain Ammon and Moab, I believe, used to worship Molech. Alright. Different nations used to worship Baal, Baalim, Baal Peor. Alright. So yeah. So we despise the commandments of kings. We despise offering up things to idols. We despise eating pork. We despise eating crab. All these kind of things. That is why we were different. We wouldn't want to really back when Israel was really rehearsing the true righteousness of the Most High, we wouldn't really make alliances, especially in time of King David, with these kings to do the kind of evil things that they do. Alright. So as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward, right? So yeah, we cannot coexist really and truly and live in peace and harmony with these other nations. That is why the scripture said in the book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse, I believe it's from verse 25, right? It says, Revelation 2 verse 25, it says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Right? So we're going to have power over the nations in the time to come. We just have to keep the righteousness of the Most High. Have faith, alright, in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Have faith in his word, keeping the commandments to the best of our ability. Alright, so that the Most High will establish us. We're not going to coexist, right? Through war, we're going to have peace with these other nations, and they're going to learn the ways of the Most High. Alright. And verse 27, it says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. So we're going to have these other nations in total subjection. They're going on worship Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai through Israel. Because the scripture said in Isaiah 60, and I believe it's around verse 12. It says, "For the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted." So the nation that will not serve us, because Esau, Edom ain't going to want to serve us, they're going to be utterly destroyed. Right? Any other nation will play mad and ain't serve the children of Israel, they're going and, they're going to perish. So we can't coexist with these people and the other gods. I mean, who the hell is Selassie? Who the hell is Jesus? Who the hell is Allah? Right? The spaghetti monster. Who is Shiva? Right? Who is Yahuwah? Who is Yahweh? Alright? All these gods are false gods. They are nothing but wood and stone. Who is Dinah? Who is Zeus? Alright? We can't coexist with these gods. There is only one God. And Yahweh Hashem Yeshua says that his glory that he will not give to another, and he's very jealous for his name's sake. Alright? So we cannot coexist. The Most High do not coexist with any other gods, because there is no other God but him. Alright? And with that, want to say shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom la bakaria, mawat la babal. Alright? Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Right? Giving all praises unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kadash. Right? And until then, say shalom to the elect. Keep pushing this without the insincerity and truth.